Very good morning and welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I am Funmi Omoburiwo. On the program today, we want to look at the concept of balance of skills and diversity on the board. And our guest this morning is Mr. BABATUNDE PELEWURA, FCIS, is a member of the governing council ICSAN. He is the chairman of the Audit and Risk Management Committee, also a faculty member of the Board Evaluations Training Program of the Institute, faculty member of the Fast Track Program as board advisor. He's also CEO Golden Teas. Good morning, Mr. PELEWURA.
Good morning, Philip.
All right, thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, also here is Mr. Kayode Ketefe, FCIS, Head of Research, ICSAN. Good morning, Mr. Ketefe.
Good morning to you, Funmi. Good morning to you, our distinguished guests, and all our listeners.
All right, we're going to take this message, and of course, we'll be right back.
The world is constantly evolving. Knowledge-based economy where skills and competencies constitutes the lifeblood of public and corporate governance. You therefore need to empower yourself to fit into this new world by gaining basic knowledge and improving your skill set in the governance-focused disciplines. That is why every aspiring as well as practice ICSAN.
ICSAN. What is ICSAN?
ICSAN is a leading statutorily established professional body dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. ICSAN members are trained as chartered secretaries and administrators.
Who are chartered secretaries and administrators?
Chartered secretaries are high-ranking governance professionals with a broad base of skills, unique amongst other professions. They are trained in law, finance, accounting, administration, strategy development, and corporate governance. In today's world, chartered secretaries and administrators discharge a wide range of duties and responsibilities, including functioning as chairmen of companies, executive directors, non-executive directors, company secretaries, risk managers, compliance managers, board evaluators, and corporate governance evaluators.
That is interesting. How then do I become a chartered secretary and administrator?
Go to the Institute's website, www.icsan.org. You can also visit the National Secretariat of ICSAN at Plot 6, Elephant Cement Way, Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, to get full information on how to become members. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
All right, of course, the still corporate governance platform right here. And as I said earlier, that we'll be looking at the concept of balance of skills and diversity on the board. Now, Mr. PELEWURA, the code referred to two terms as necessary composition, and these are balance of skills and diversity. I want you to expatiate to us on the meaning of these two terms. Hello? Okay, I guess we'll have to reestablish contact with Mr. PELEWURA right there. Mr. Ketefe, let's quickly take some announcements while we're trying to reestablish contact.
Thank you very much, Funmi. The announcement we have for you today is on a forthcoming special program of the Institute called The Conversation. They are practicing and aspiring governance professionals and members of the public generally. This is to inform you that the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is pleased to invite you to attend a program tagged The Conversation, which is holding on Thursday. What is The Conversation? The Conversation is an advocacy program of the Institute centered around governance and contemporary national issues to enlighten, educate, and share knowledge with our stakeholders and members of the public generally. The theme of the program is attaining sustainable development goals in Nigeria by 2030, role of national subnational, private sector, and community leaders. The guest at this event is a Sierra Leonean parliamentarian, former Minister of Trade and Industry, Director General, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and the United Nations Under Secretary General / Special Representative of the Secretary General and the CEO, Sustainable Energy for All, Dr. Kande Yunkela. The chief host is the President and the Chairman of the Governing Council of the Kalade FCIS. The program is going to be held by virtual method. Please note that the participation in this event is free, but registration is compulsory. The link for registration is available on all the Institute's social media platforms as well as the Institute website. After your registration, the link to participate will be sent to you. For further information on this event, please call Mike on 080-2311-7969. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.
All right, thank you. Babatunde PELEWURA back on. The first question I asked was talking about, the code on corporate governance, referring to two terms as necessary in board composition. And these are balance of skills and diversity. I want to tell us the meaning of these two terms.
Well, I can hear you a little bit more. It will be nice if I hear you a little bit more. But what I get from your question is the diversity of the board. What is the second word that you use, Mark?
Balance of skills.
Skills.
Yes.
Yes. I will start by saying that when a board of a company is being constituted, look at the objective of the company. To start with, we have a charter talking about the objectives of the company, and that will determine what kind of people they bring on board, and that's about the composition. And the composition will have to take care of or take account of skill, experience, age, even the diversity, the gender sensitivity of the position of the board. This one would allow the board to be effective. So skills and diversity in the board they are very key important points to be looked at by the company and the board as a whole to move the company to a greater height.
Let's also look at the notion of board structure and composition. Why is this so important in the context of corporate governance?
Yeah, okay. As I've just said, when you are composing your board, it depends on the complexity of the business of the board. For instance, let me just say it with profound apologies to lawyers. If you are trying to make up a board of a construction company, for example, it will not be appropriate to have all the members of the board as lawyers. There will be problems. In such a company, or the objective would be for engineering. You need engineers, you need other professionals too, like the accountants, like the economists. So the composition of this is what I call POT, portfolio of talent, must be on the board to make the board, the company succeed.
All right, let's also have you talk about a recommended ideal size. Can there be a recommended ideal size or specification for a board structure that companies may adopt?
It has been settled that there is no ideal size of the board. Again, it depends on the size of the company and what the officers are, what they are engaging, and the operations. But Companies Balance Matters Act of 2020 has now cleared that the minimum a public company should have will be 5. So it can be 7, it can be 9, it can be 11, yes, but it should not be too wide as to be destructive of itself. But the minimum is set now by CAMA to be 5. There is no standard size of a board that the board you have must have 10 and that's all. No, it depends on the complexity, and once the board thinks they need the gap of expertise and the skills that they need on the board to determine the actual size, but should not be too ready as to be unwieldy, as to be destructive to the company's objectives.
Can you highlight some specifics if an organization gets its board composition and structure right?
Well, an effective board, that is another way of saying that the company has got its board composition right. That company will be, the board will be effective. And the effectiveness of the board is to provide entrepreneurial leadership to the management of the company. If you ask me what the board does, I can as well say that the board holds meetings. But they hold meetings to take decisions. And if they take appropriate decisions, they move the company forward. They provide policy for the management. They don't have to be engaged in day-to-day affairs of the company, but they provide policy and they see to the execution of that policy. And they provide human resources to enable the company to achieve its purpose. So when the board structure is very good, when you have an economist where you should have with appropriate experience, you have an accountant, who would crunch the figures for the management and for the board to see and take decisions. Because if the information is not flowing well, then the board might be led to take inappropriate decisions. And then you must have somebody who is managing that on behalf of the board and to bring to the board when there are issues on the management of risk that the board must attend to. This will make effective board, and when you have effective board, the sky might not be the limit for the growth of that company and success for all the shareholders and all the stakeholders, including the government.
All right. Quickly, before I will let you go, I want you to talk on the role that ICSAN training department, what role can it play for organizations who need consultancy services on board composition and structure?
Can you come back again, ma?
Talking about role, what role can ICSAN training department play for organizing consultancy services on board composition and structure?
Yes. If I hear you right, you are talking about what the board, the company or the institute is doing towards the board helping board structure.
Yes, yes.
We have put in place the institute some measures. That's why we are training from time to time. In fact, Secretary is there. We will attest to this. He is the head of research and training. We do all these things always, training the staff and management of other organizations. We have even started other organizations. We have even started the training of board evaluation. That's our bid to help the companies, the organizations. When we go there, because we have experts in the house, and we are training others from the public to end these things that you are asking me. How is the board structure? Is the board effective? Is the board getting its structure right? So we are the voice that is leading this into our training.
All right.
We do this training for organizations from time to time. We evaluate time. We evaluate those who have come to training and we certify them. So that they can look at the affairs of the company for the board to enable them to get it right. Another measure, we have a pool of number of individuals that we have identified as being qualified to be directors for companies, non-executive directors for companies, so that if you need, an organization needs non-executive director, because they have to be independent, they have a source to look, they have a place to look for at the institute to get the number or the names of those they might want to consider as non-executive directors. We're doing this all the time.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Babatunde PELEWURA, FCIS member. Thank you so much, Mr. PELEWURA. Thank you for joining us on the program.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. I should also say thank you to Mr. Kaide Ketefe, FCIS, Head of Research, ICSAN. Thank you for being here.
Thank you too. It's my pleasure to be